Hey guys, I just got off the water with my UMAX for about the 4th time, and based on the fact that I have owned 5 of the most popular kayaks from some of the best brands on the market, I think I've got a pretty good read on how this kayak stacks up to the rest. I'm going to give you guys my first review and first impressions of the NuCanoe UMAX. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Richie Parnell Outdoors. Today we're going to be jumping into my first impressions and review video of my NuCanoe UMAX. As I told you guys earlier in the intro, I've owned some of the best brands out there. I have been in some of the best kayaks out there. I've had an SS127, I've had a Slayer Max 12.5, I've had the original, the OG NuCanoe Unlimited, just sold my PWR 129. Now I am sitting in this NuCanoe UMAX, and I've had the opportunity to demo. I have never owned, but I have demoed a Bonafide XTR 130. So based off of some of that experience, I'm going to give you guys just my honest feedback and opinions on how this kayak stacks up to some of those awesome kayaks that I've had the experience to get to paddle and get to fish in for quite a while. So let's jump into today's review. So we're going to start the video off talking about stability, because I know it's going to be one of the most asked questions about this kayak, and in my opinion, I think that's where the UMAX kind of begins to really separate itself from the rest of the pack. Because I've been in a lot of other great kayaks, a lot of other kayaks that are known for their primary, for their secondary stability. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, there's nothing I've been in that even compares to what I experienced whenever I was in the UMAX. While I had this thing out on the water, every time I was out there, I really did test the stability all the way to the max. I was able to stand in the seat, I was able to stand on the side gunnels, I was able to walk front to back on the kayak. Matter of fact, I didn't even rig up anything on this kayak to be able to stow and deploy my trolling motor, my bow mount, because I just have that much confidence to be able to walk up to the front, step up on the front gear pod, and just stow and deploy the motor without having to have all the extra cables, all the extra pull cords just hanging off the deck or laying around the deck. So when it comes to stability on this kayak, I'm going to give it a solid 10 out of 10. This thing just feels night and day difference compared to anything else I've ever been in as far as stability. So if that's what you're looking for, then the UMAX needs to just be at the top of your list. Hey guys, real quick before we get into the rest of the video, I want to give you a little disclaimer. This is not going to be a one and done review of the NuCanoe UMAX, but over the next few weeks and months, I'm going to be putting it through its paces, and I am going to be working on turning this thing into the ultimate fishing machine. So I want to encourage you, take a minute, hit the subscribe button, so that way you can stay up to date on whenever I post new videos and updates. I'm going to be doing long-term review videos of the UMAX, of how this thing is holding up. So make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. Let's jump into the rest of the video. Next, we're going to jump into riggability and the deck layout on this thing. Now, obviously, it's a NuCanoe. It comes from the Unlimited family, so you know that it's known for that big open deck space. But really, the 13-foot 6-inch layout on this kayak and the true 41 inches almost through the whole entire layout of the deck just makes it unlike anything else I've ever really been in. There's just so much room to rig on this thing. There's so much gear track available for you to be able to do what you want to do. And the space to be able to move and function on the deck is just absolutely unmatched. You know, coming from a lot of different kayaks that are kind of a cockpit design, the SS127, the Slayer Max, and then my most recent, which is the PWR 129, jumping back into a kayak that just has this much open deck space was phenomenal. I'm a big guy, 6'2", 250 pounds on a light day, and I just never felt cramped in this thing. I felt like I could just move, I could breathe. The only way I can explain it is a lot of my other kayaks, I have felt like I had to work around the kayak, but not with this. I felt like the kayak was working around me, and I was just able to fish more efficiently, and I felt like I was just more focused on fishing instead of worrying about moving around, worried about tripping over a gear pod or something that was in the deck. Now, on the side of riggability, like I said, potential's limitless on this thing as far as how you can rig it. Something that they improved coming from the NuCanoe Unlimited that I love are those new HD access plates on the front and the back of the kayak. Those new plates are much larger, they're much more rigid, and the way that they redid the gaskets on that and redid the mold on the front of the kayak, it is just absolutely so much better than what they had on the NuCanoe Unlimited. I really do feel like finally the access plates on this thing have kind of started to catch up with some of the other brands on the market. And in addition to that, the new Max ports that they created for being able to run your cables through, to be able to drill your own hole, you get the perfect size hole for whatever cable you're doing. It's big enough to where you can run whatever size cables you need, and they're very watertight. And the fact that it comes with 2 of those right out of the gate was a huge win, because I had everything I needed to be able to go ahead and run cables. One thing I want to point out about rigging on this thing is the stern pod. Now, I know that this is a really popular thing. Saw a lot of highlights about the stern pod from NuCanoe whenever they were doing all their soft launch and their marketing on this. And I'll be honest with you, there's one thing that they left out of the stern pod that I want to point out that I really do feel like was an oversight. Everything they marketed it for was for you to run batteries, but they did not put one of those HD access plates inside the stern pod. So immediately right out of the gate, just so you know, if you're going to run cables through the stern pod, you're going to have to drill a hole, and you're going to have to use a Max port or use some type of Yak Attack through hole kit in there, because they did not put one of those HD access plates in there. In my opinion, that's a little bit of an oversight from NuCanoe. I really do wish they would have thought that through a little bit more and just put a Max port in there, because let's face it, that's what everybody's going to be doing with that stern pod, is running batteries. Now, all the hype around it being waterproof is absolutely true. I've had it out in thunderstorms, tons of heavy rain, and then also had to wash the kayak out to get some of the Georgia red clay out of it. And I've never gotten any water in my stern pod. So as far as what it was marketed as to be waterproof storage for your batteries, it definitely does that. Just wish they would have put an HD access plate in the stern pod as well. Now, one other thing that's a little bit different about the UMAX compared to the Unlimited is the way that they built in the horizontal rod storage. Now, I know that you're either a horizontal rod storage fan or you're not. Me personally, I love the fact that they built it in. My PWR supposedly had built in horizontal rod storage, but it wasn't great. If you've watched my review video on the PWR 129, then you know that I lost a rod off the side of my kayak because I was trying to use the horizontal rod storage, and it just really wasn't the best design. And then the horizontal rod storage that they had for the Unlimited really wasn't, in my opinion, necessarily horizontal rod storage. But the way that they designed the UMAX, the deck layout of that, the little cubbies that they've got molded into that deck space is just fantastic. I was able to run 2 rods on each side throughout the times that I was out, and never had any issues. The rods just seat down into those cubbies perfectly, and you have no issues of worrying about accidentally knocking out one of your rods. So if horizontal rod storage is important for you and you don't want to have to buy an accessory for that, the UMAX definitely covers the base on that for you. They did a really good job the way that they integrated that in. My only complaint about the way that they designed the horizontal rod storage is whatever the material is that they used for the rod tip protectors on the front of the kayak. I'm not sure what it's called. If you know what that material is that they use, why don't you drop it in the comments so that way I can know what the material is that they put up there. It's like a thin plastic material, and after about 20 minutes of being outside in the Georgia heat, every time I've been out, that stuff just starts to warp, it starts to bubble up, it starts to deform. And in my opinion, I just think over time it's probably going to deteriorate very rapidly. I would just say NuCanoe probably is going to come out with something to upgrade that, something to replace it. Other than that, the deck space, the layout of this thing, the riggability of this thing is phenomenal. Probably one of my only gripes about how you can rig this thing up is you just have to be very creative on how you're going to run a graph on the Unlimited, on the UMAX, on the U10. In my opinion, all of them, they're just not as easy to be able to run a graph. I know that NuCanoe has the really cool retract system, which is absolutely phenomenal. I actually bought one to put my graph on this kayak. I didn't do any research, that's on me, and it doesn't work with my transducer for my graph. I run a smaller graph. I run the Garmin Striker Vivid 4CV because all I need to know is contour, water depth, and temp, and that usually helps me become way more effective at fishing. Not running live scope yet, but one day maybe I'll get there. And that retract system for the transducer does not work for that particular transducer. It only works with, from what I could see, about 4 to 6 other types of graphs. So I had to order some more parts to be able to run a graph on here. Not the end of the world, but on all my other kayaks, my Bonafides, you have the gear pods, the native slayers had the built-in place for you to be able to run a transducer and run cables. It was just a little bit more built in instead of you having to buy an accessory to be able to do that. That's my gripe about rigging this thing, was I still don't have my graph on there because I'm still waiting for parts. Other than that, I think you'll find that the possibilities are just literally limitless on this thing, on how you can rig it, just because of the amount of gear track that you get, the amount of space you have. And I'm sure that over time this build is going to progress. It's like a big adult Lego set, so I'm just going to keep plugging and playing pieces in until I get it set up exactly how I like it. So let's transition for just a minute and let's talk about the efficiency of the UMAX. You know, these bigger kayaks, they get a lot of negative opinions out there because they're so big, they're so heavy. Man, that thing's going to be like a barge. I really wasn't sure what to expect going into it because you just hear a lot of that. But I'm going to be honest with you, I was very pleasantly surprised for a 13-foot 6-inch kayak that's 41 inches wide, how efficient this kayak was on the water. You know, coming from a PWR 129 that was built for stability, but also very much built for efficiency, the way that they designed the hull on the PWR, I wasn't expecting to get a lot of the same results, but honestly, I did. I'm running the Minn Kota, the kayak to rover on the front of this thing, and I'll be honest with you, the speeds that I got out of my Minn Kota were exactly the same that I was getting on my Bonafide. I would get 3.5 to 4.5 on a good day with my Bonafide, and I was getting about the same speeds with the UMAX, which really kind of surprised me because of the size and the width of the kayak. The other thing that took me by surprise, and I wasn't expecting it, was how well this kayak paddles. I was really shocked by that. Just because of the width and just the weight, I just would not have expected it to paddle as efficiently as it did. But I mean, as long as you have a long enough paddle, this thing paddles very, very well. I wasn't having to overwork. I wasn't having to overcompensate for the size of the kayak to be able to paddle it. We got into some back creek areas on a lake and it was shallow, had to pull the motor, and I was absolutely fine paddling through that. I do have the QC rudder on here, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later on in the video. And I can imagine that the QC rudder helped a lot with tracking because I was using the rudder to kind of steer and I just paddled, which made the experience even better. So I would highly recommend that if you're going to get it and you're not going to run a stern mount motor, to go ahead and throw the QC rudder on there. But yeah, I didn't wear myself out paddling it, and I never felt like I was having to overcompensate trying to paddle for the size of the kayak. It was very, very efficient on the water. So if you're a little concerned about the size of it, the weight of it, the width of it, and you're wondering how efficient it's gonna be, I wouldn't hesitate. I wouldn't let that be the thing that stops you. For the amount of stability you get and for the size of the kayak, I think that the efficiency is very, very fair for what you're getting and the size of the kayak. Next up, guys, I want to cover some of the accessories that I put on this thing, things that don't come on it, but I know they're things that people are going to have questions about. They're things that you're going to consider putting on there. And two of those things are the QC rudder and the foot controlled steering on this kayak. I want to start with the rudder because it was the thing that absolutely surprised me the most. I've never had a kayak that had an add-on rudder. All of the other kayaks I've ever had, my Native Slayer and my Bonafides, came with the built-in rudders. And so I wasn't really sure what to expect out of this. It's easy to install. It's very well made. The construction of it, just the whole way that it's built is absolutely solid, and it functions great. As a matter of fact, the rudder system on this actually functions better than my PWR did. I always had issues with my sling blade rudder on my PWR that was built into the kayak. It would never deploy. I would always have to sit there and fight with my pedals. I would even have to feed the Spectra cable through the through-hole grommet on my kayak, on my PWR, to get my rudder to finally fall all the way down so that I could use it to steer with. Not the case with this. You literally just pull the cord out of the cleat, it drops down, you pull the cord back up, lock it back into the cleat. It's down when you need it, it's up out of the way whenever you don't need it. And then if you don't want it, You just literally pull the pin and you can take the rudder off, which is another cool feature. Something else that kind of surprised me was the foot controlled steering, QC steering on this thing. I wasn't sure what I was going to think about that coming from a Bonafide PWR with the 2-foot steering. It took me a couple hours out there kind of getting used to the, just the movement of it and how it handled. But honestly, once I figured it out, once I got the adjustment right for the length and everything, it's fantastic. I mean, one thing that I love about it is so smooth. It's just absolutely buttery smooth to be able to use that thing. And I even find myself, because of the level of stability the kayak has while I'm standing and I've got my motor on a low setting, I find myself just keeping kind of my toe on that pedal and steering with the rudder while I'm standing, because the foot pedal is just so intuitive and it's just kind of like right there. So highly recommend, if you're going to run a bow mount on your UMAX and you're not going to go the stern mount way, that you pick up the QC rudder and that you pick up the foot controlled steering, because it really makes it so much more efficient out in the water, even whenever you're standing the fish. I will say I was expecting to get a better turning radius than what I'm getting out of it. It's not terrible, but it's not like what I thought it was going to be because of the design of the rudder. I thought it was going to have a sharper turning radius, but to be honest with you, it's equal to my Native Slayer Max that I had. It's equal to my Bonafide PWR. So while while the turning radius doesn't just take off and leave the pack, it's kind of right there even with the rest of the pack. And the last thing about the design of the kayak that I am going to talk about is the way that they redesigned that front bow, because it is not the same kayak as the NuCanoe Unlimited. As you guys saw in one of my earlier clips that I put in, I stand on the front of this thing to deploy my trolling motor and then to bring my trolling motor back in. And I'm a big guy, like I said, 250, and I can stand on the front of this thing and it never even gets close to getting low enough in the water to be able to bring water over the front. And then just the way that they shaped it with those wave brakes, it really does handle chop, and it just handles, boat wakes way better than the Unlimited did. That in and of itself, in my opinion, is worth the extra cost of this over the cost of an Unlimited. So the question at the end of the video is, do I regret selling my PWR 129 to get into the NuCanoe UMAX? And the answer is hands down no. I really do feel like I have upgraded kayaks by doing this. It definitely has checked a lot of boxes for me that I was missing with my PWR 129. That PWR is a great platform. If you're looking at it, I would not hesitate to go demo one and get into it. But if you're looking for stability, if you're looking for open deck space, if you're looking for riggability, and if you're looking for capacity, then I think the UMAX is definitely one that you need to put at the top of your list. Yes, there are a few things that I would change. There's a few things that I would tweak. There's a few things that I wish that NuCanoe would have maybe thought about whenever they were getting ready to put this thing out on the market. But at the end of the day, those are all small gripes compared to the overall package that you get with the NuCanoe UMAX at the price point that you get it at. And this is just the beginning, guys. I'm going to continue to put this kayak through its paces. We're going to continue to rig it out so that way we can turn it into the ultimate fishing machine. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you're following along so that way you can see all the updates and the future reviews that come out about the long-term use and long-term abuse that I put the UMAX through. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, I want to leave you with a verse that I hope encourages you. It's Philippians 4:13, and it says this: I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. God bless you guys, and I'll see you on the water.